So I found out that there's two guarantees in life. That's first, I'll die, and two, that I'll pay taxes. And we as Poshmark sellers, since we are running a business, are obligated to pay taxes. But what you may not know is that Poshmark does this in a unique way, making the platform very attractive for sellers because of how easy they make it for us to pay taxes. If you find this video enjoyable, don't forget to give it a like and also click subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. But as previewed by the intro, you can definitely tell that this video will be on the topic of taxes and the process that Poshmark uses for having all of its sellers pay taxes on their sales. So let's dive right in. If you snoop around the sales page and you look at one of your previous sales, you can see that Poshmark obviously takes their fee. Since this item was less than $15, I was charged $2.95, and then my earnings were $7.05, but then subtracted from those earnings was 78 cents. Looking at my other items, you can see that the taxes show up in all of them. $1.39 here, and then in this one, $1.60. What you may or may not notice is that there's no rhyme or reason to the percentage that I'm charged for the sales tax, the seller's tax, not the sales tax. The buyer pays the sales tax and we pay a seller's tax as a form of income tax. And to preface this video, I would like to remind you I am not a tax expert by any means, and I don't have any qualifications where you should take this advice as concrete advice. But here's what I've learned from being a Poshmark seller. So, as I was saying, it's definitely a variable rate for taxes that you are charged as a seller. And why? Because you're selling to different states, and each state has a different tax rate that you are charged. So the taxes that I pay on an item that I sell in California are different than the taxes that I pay on an item sold in Texas. So the normal procedure for this would be is that if you're running an online business, that you would have to claim and you're profiting from it over a certain threshold, which I believe is around $600 if I remember correctly. You have to actually keep track of all your sales, and then come tax time, you have to file that as an income. Sometimes if you're considered an independent contractor and selling under another organization, you'll get a 1099 form, but since we are independent business owners technically, usually you would have to keep track of all that on yourself, and then to avoid tax fraud, claim that on your tax return at the end of the year. But since you're a seller on Poshmark, and I am too, we really don't have to worry about that, and that is fantastic because that is a giant headache that no one wants to deal with. Because I think the worst part about actually paying taxes isn't shelling out the money, because obviously the government does things that help me out, but it's filing the dang things. That takes forever, and I can't imagine doing it for a small business. So thankfully, we don't have to do that for Poshmark, and here's why. This blog by The Posh Life by Poshmark announced in March of 2019, this year, that to simplify sales tax for our community, we created Posh Remit, one of the first countrywide tax remittance services. So those taxes that are now taken out on your sales are part of this program. And why that is so helpful is because what does this mean when I have to report taxes is sellers do not need to collect or pay sales tax for Poshmark orders sold and delivered within the United States. So they take all of the calculations, the collection, and the remission on behalf of the sellers. And that's what makes Poshmark so awesome and why you should be a part of it. If you want to read more on this article, I will have a link in the description. I definitely recommend that you give it a quick read. It'll help you explain the situation better. When I was talking about variable tax rates, here's some of the places that don't have to pay sales tax. Alaska, Delaware, Montana, New Hampshire, Oregon. So any people from those states, come check out my closet and buy something so I'm not charged taxes on it. The whole reason that this came up is because I didn't actually notice that I was being taken out taxes. I thought I was going to have to track everything, and now I'm super jacked because I don't have to track it. The really important part of this video, though, is that you have to realize that these taxes are something that you're going to be charged when selling an item. So what does that mean? You have to buy smart, and you have to account for this tax rate into your margin to make sure you're actually still making money. If you're only having dollar margins on items, you're probably not making a lot of money because you're getting taxed that. Let's actually take a look on some of my cheaper items. So let's say I paid $5 for this Polo Ralph Lauren shirt, which I didn't. I did not pay that much. I'd sell it for $8, be charged the fee, and then 66 cents on top of it. I'd be only making like 40 cents if well, actually not even. I'd be losing money on this if I paid $5 for this shirt. So keep that in mind as you're going out and purchasing. Buy low, sell for more, stay in business because of taxes, because you're smart with your taxes. But now you know. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to try to answer them. Shoot them down in the comment section below, and I can do some research, look around, try and find some answers. Again, I'm not a tax expert though, so don't expect that from me, but do ask. I'd love to hear from you. Any of you experienced Poshmark people who have been doing this for a while, I'm sure you went through the phase of having to track your sales and then having this awesome feature. Let me know about your experience with that transition in the comment section below. But for now, this ends today's topic on taxes. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to click that like button and also subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content. That's it for today, people. We'll see you next time.